Hello, I'm Eric and I have ADHD. It's a difficult thing to explain to people, so instead, I'm just going to show you. In this video, we're going to be mounting a TV, and the way I went about it will likely be very different than how you went about mounting and setting up your TV, and certainly different than how the manufacturers intended. And while that was going on, I lugged around a camera and recorded myself Survivor Man style to capture everything that was going on. And now I'll be giving you a play-by-play highlighting all the ADHD goodness that permeates the video as we watch it back together. So let's jump into it. So my last TV literally fell off the wall and shattered. Fortunately, my mother-in-law was kind enough to lend us a new one, but here's the problem. We don't want to wall mount it, and the legs are missing. Do they sell legs for this particular TV? Yes, of course. But do I feel like waiting for those legs to arrive, being around the holidays? Hell no. So here's the plan. We're gonna DIY this bad boy. My wife was in the same room while I was filming this, and this was the exact moment that she found out that I was planning on DIY mounting our TV. So what exactly does that mean? What does that look like? I have no idea. Let's do it. Right here is where the last TV fell right off the wall. Here's the thing, we have a little 1-year-old running around, so this new TV can't be set up in a way that could possibly be pulled down by her. And I know what you're thinking. Regarding this old TV, Eric, why didn't you just screw it into a stud? Let me tell you, the only stud that got screwed here was this guy. Aww. Looking at this wall, you'd think there'd be a stud right here, right? But no, there's a stud. And why didn't it work? Well, there's a slight chance that I didn't think it through all the way and rushed the process. Doing drilling into drywall, but that did not work. Anyways, let's go grab this TV and see what we're working with. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I've got this guitar amp over here, which just reeks of TV stand eligibility. So outside of the idea of using the guitar amp to support the TV, I really had no other plans whatsoever going into this. Planning ahead isn't something that people with ADHD typically do, and it's not necessarily because it's a difficult thing for us, but because it's an additional step that feels more like an obstacle in the way of our objective. We just want to do the thing, and planning feels like a waste of time, even though of course it isn't. Planning usually saves us time. 51. So the width of the nook is smaller than the width of the TV, which means we're not going to be able to set the TV into the nook, but that doesn't mean we can't still put some sort of support into that area and have the TV sitting outside of it. So that's what we're going to try. So I say this a lot, but if you were to look at the normal process of a neurotypical person, it typically looks like conceptualizing, planning, building, creating, and then revising afterwards, right? But for a person with ADHD, the conceptualizing, planning, doing, redoing, all of that is kind of happening at the same time. So as we go through this, you'll notice that my plan is literally being constructed as things are being built. It's going to be supported by the amp, I think. There's a feather on my back. So I do a lot of just standing like you just saw and thinking a lot. And obviously for the sake of the video, I cut all of those because you don't want to watch that. Okay, so here's the plan. TV sits on this. I removed the head of the amp. This piece of wood is going to get cut to fit here, which is going to meet up with the top level of screw holes on the back of the TV. I'm then going to screw the TV into the wood after the wood is screwed into the walls. Oh, forgot to mention, I need to find the studs. I want to make sure that there's a stud here and here before I do any more screwing, because you saw what happened last time. Some of you may be surprised to learn that my dad is actually a contractor. So, what happened with me? I don't know. By the way, that little dot on the back of my head isn't a mole. It's a cut from shaving, and I get them often. Oof. A little loud for the baby. I'll have to wait till she wakes up, I think. Anything I can do in the meantime? Could start my cuts on the wood. No. I should make sure that there's a stud here before I do that. So I'm not totally sure, but I think that if I wasn't narrating, this process for the camera, I might have not had the thought that I just had. But the fact that I was trying to articulate, what was going on and what I was going to do, I was able to catch myself from jumping the gun. So, yeah, kind of interesting. I think in this instance, having the cameras rolling saved me from potentially making a mistake. And now we find a stud. What, kiddo? Okay, one stud located. Now we gotta find the other. And I'm hoping it's right here. But we'll see. Yep, feels like a stud. Okay. So now we need to measure the distance between our two studs, and that's going to be the length of that board that's going to run behind the TV. And looks like 44 and a half. 44 and a half. So what I'm not accounting for is the angle of the wall. Is that going to be a problem? I don't think so. 44 and a half, and then I'm just going to drill in like that on an angle. Let's see what happens. Please don't make fun of my skill saw. Hair shy of 44 and a half. Moment of truth. Pretty good. Pretty good. So it comes out a little bit. I can trim this side down a little bit. And that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so got my piece of wood and I've got my multi-tool right here. So we're gonna give this guy a shot. It's gonna be like this. Just cut it on an angle. Just like that. Like that. Yeah? Okay, let's see what happens. I have no idea if this was the best tool to use, the best way to go about this, but it was the most immediate way for me to get it done. I like that, the most immediate way to get it done. I think that a lot of what we do can be summed up with that little phrase. We look for the most immediate way to do something. I mean, really an ugly cut. It's hideous, but let's go see if it does the job. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's about perfect right there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so I think what makes the most sense here is to drill this into the TV now, place it on the wall, and then screw it in. Or at least mark it on the wall. And then I can unscrew it from the TV, drill it into the wall, drill it into the TV. I think that's the best move. So here's where externalizing my process would have been really helpful. If I had just gotten a piece of paper and listed out everything that I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it, it would have helped me put that picture together in my head and understand if it was going to work before I jumped into it. Externalizing in general for people with ADHD is a really important thing to do because we lack the mechanisms in our mind, specifically within the prefrontal cortex where the executive functions happen, to be able to visualize things coming together over time and that have multiple parts in an effective way. You know what's so funny about these projects is I'm always like, oh, it's gonna be so fast. Like this will be quick, it'll be easy. Never is. And I don't think it matters. Maybe it does matter where I put it. It definitely does matter, doesn't it? Yeah, okay, let's figure that out first. Let me do this. Let me put this amp back, TV on the amp, wood in place, and then just kind of get an idea of where everything sits. Felt better last time I did it. I think that's it right there. Wish I had a pencil to mark this. Show this little nail. Yeah, sure. I'll tell you right now, I think this is a bad idea to do what I'm about to do. I'm not confident in how I measured that out just now. I'm not confident in the location of my dots that I marked with this nail. But I'm gonna screw holes in it anyways. Because why? I don't know, but I'm gonna do it. It's a hair off. I guess I should at least hold it up to the wall and make sure that this placement is okay. Oh shit. Screwed it in the wrong direction. I put it on the wrong side. So I did that, I screwed this in the wrong direction, then I screwed it in on the wrong side. Jesus Christ. Okay, we are on day 2. Yesterday I just threw in the towel. I didn't feel like working on it anymore, so here we are. I've got my construction dad pants on. They have multiple pockets, which I will never use. And yeah, I'm ready to do this.